Alrighty, guys. Never done this before, but I figured I'd give it a shot. Just picked up a roll of halves. I'm going to kind of do a video in tandem with the live stream, but wanted to see if I can get anybody to show up. Also, just wanted to kind of test out the live stream platform and see what things go like. So I'm going to start breaking into rolls and see what we can find. The last couple of boxes haven't been anything too amazing to me, but if you don't hunt them, you can't find them. I've been getting a ton of NIFCs and not a lot of silver, which isn't always a lot of fun, but it's a nice 99. You'll see me checking a lot of coins, because that's what I'm using for my live stream. Is I'm using the scope because I don't have any software currently. So I'm using it to check things. So I'll use the scope for any possible DDOs. If you see anything that I'm missing, I seem to have trouble spotting these DDOs. They seem very elusive to me sometimes. So do you have any suggestions for me on how to better find? Much appreciated. If I don't have anybody come in, it might feel a lot awkward to be in here talking to myself all day. So if it's a live stream you're seeing later on and you hear a lot of silence and coins clicking, that's why. Pretty beat up. See how I see that when how that T, I'm guessing that's damaged, but they start to look like they have splits in them. They just mess with me. I don't know how everybody else does their rolls. I like to wrap my rolls as I go. That way when I'm done, I'm done. Even when you're pulling silver out or DDOs, you generally aren't going to take too much more than maybe a couple rolls out of a box. It's probably not as efficient, but I'm pretty slow to begin with anyways. Still doing the learning curve. I don't simply edge hunt. I do look at both sides of each coin to try to better familiarize myself with the coins. I normally watch videos, keep myself up to date with what's going on in the coin community, or live streams as I'm hunting, so it's pretty quiet today by not having that. Like that one there, I don't know if that's machine doubling or regular doubling. Definitely looks odd to me. So I'm going to set that aside so I compare it to what's on the website. It definitely looks different though. I'd love it if someone would show up. That way I can say, hey, what do you think? But maybe next stream. Takes time to build some following, get some people in here and understand that. I just enjoy hunting. I'd like to share it with you guys. I also would love to find some silver. I'm actually getting a lot of older dates today. They tend to fall in the 70s a lot, which makes for a longer hunt because I'm still trying to figure out these DDOs, but all in time. We actually have somebody out there this morning? Nope. NIFC, 2006. NIFC, 2006. That tends to be my luck lately. Hey, we have somebody out there. Look, another NIFC, 2006. I'm hunting halves this morning. I'm looking for some silver, any variations that might be here. Just wanted to kind of get an idea how this live stream works. I'd certainly love to start hunting with people, or at least sharing my hunts this way. I typically do it more where I just come in for my finds, but thought this might be an interesting way that people that can't grab halves might be able to jump in and share with the hunting. You working today or are you off? Yep, working from home. Hey, now, did you always work from home, or is that new due to the pandemic? Yeah, a lot of people are stuck working from home due to this craziness of the year. I've actually, since my last quote unquote real job, have worked from home. I also am a third party seller on Amazon. And I've done that for going on 5 years now. So I've worked from home for a while, and having the kids home for the better part of a year has been challenging for sure. I'm down to one home. The other ones have gone back to in person, but I've still got one home because he actually changes classes and things of that nature. We want to reduce the exposure. So we've kept him home until things settle down a bit. So do you hunt, or do you just a collector? Another 2006 NIFC. Yeah, I like hunting myself. That's kind of how I've almost done all my collecting, is by my finds and my hunts. Looking forward to inheriting my dad's collection. He actually hunted as a kid and has a lot of really nice stuff. Me, I hunted as a kid, but just kind of got back into it. Really more out of boredom. It allows us to, pass the day. Look at that, another 2006 NIFC. That's our fifth one so far in 6 rolls. So it looks like we might have an NIFC party today. Yeah, I get that, man. You know, once you start an album, you feel like you got to finish it. I like the nickels myself. Nickels are my favorite. I love finding buffaloes. There's certainly far less value in nickels, but I like them. Yeah, this is a box of halves. These are new to me. I've only been hunting halves for about a month. And you know, I'm just kind of trying to get into the silver game with the halves. They're certainly much more challenging than other. Actually, all coins tough to get. Another NIFC 2006, but I've been hunting for W quarters, and like I said, nickels are my favorite. But I'm really, from a value standpoint, have been pretty heavy on quarters, and nickels are my favorite. Look at that. I think I'm going to have a whole box of 2006s here by the end of this. That's another one. Wow. Oh, nice. As far as the Mexican centavos, I've been buying estate lots. I found an online auction house here that seems fairly local, and they have auctions. It's not ultra competitive as far as trying to buy stuff, and I've been buying foreign lots and just been going through there. I think I put the video up, but the last lot I had, I got two 1 troy ounce Mexican silvers. That's what I bought the lot on, but it ended up being like 200 coins. It was amazing to go through. Yeah, I've been on the NFIC strain since I started. I've got one lowly 40%er that I found, and the first 2 boxes that I hunted, which is, like I said, about a month ago, I had 46 NIFCs. So I guess they're supposed to be marginally valuable if you can create sets, but keeping 50-cent pieces is farly, you know, not super affordable compared to, I mean, I started off with pennies. You know, when you find something that's questionable, keeping a penny isn't too tough, but when you're keeping them at 50 cents a pop, it gets expensive real quick. That's one of the reasons why I like the nickels, is the nickels, you have an opportunity for silver. You've got the buffaloes are my favorite by far. But you know, you can keep just about everything and not feel too guilty about it. Yeah, no, I'd love to see your foreigns. I actually haven't been buying albums because the albums seem so expensive to me. So I just created, I got the plastic inserts, and I've just been flipping them. And on the flip, I put the year, what type of coin it is, the country, what it's made of, because a lot of people, especially when it comes to foreigns, they'll mix up whether it's silver or clad. So I put what it's made of, and then on the back, if I can find the mintage, I try to write the mintage of that coin. And then as I start collecting more and more types, I have been putting them on their own page. So I'll have a page for a country, but I don't have a lot from each separate country. Mexico is one of the ones I do have. Look at that. Another 2006 NIFC. So that has its own page, but I've got quite a bit. Canada, of course, is, because I coin roll hunt, is my top country, but I've got a lot from Italy. The last set I had actually had some pre-federal coins in them. They were marked as foreign, the lot was, but I actually ended up with two 1700s that were pre-federal US coins in really horrible shape, but from a historic standpoint, really cool. Yeah, Numista is the best. I like the way that they do it. The only thing that I don't like is they will tell what the percentage is, but they don't say what the melt is. So I try to get back to NGC, because I know when I put a percentage on what it is. But like I said to my wife the other day, I walked out to her when I had that lot, because that lot that I bought was I ended up with over 6 ounces of silver. And so I went out to her and I said, hey, see these cards here? If you see ASW with a number behind it, that's how much it weighs in melt value of silver. So don't just be giving these things away when I die. Make sure that, if something happens to me, that's how you're going to figure out the value. And she's like, oh, that's a really positive thing to say. But I was like, hey, you gotta make sure that your loved ones know what's going on, so they're not throwing good after bad. Because when you see these people dropping off rolls of silver at the bank and collecting $1 for something that's worth 10, it's pretty sad. I mean, it's great for the person that finds it, but yeah, 1700s. There's 2 of them. Like I said, they're in pretty horrible shape. The one, it took me probably an hour to figure out what it was. It was that tore up. Actually, since I've got just you here, let me see. I've got it over here someplace. Where'd my sheet go with that on it? I might have taken it to my other room. I thought I had it right here, though. I'd love to show it to you if I could put my hands on it. But my office is a disaster right now. Well, son of a gun. Oh, there it is right there. Yeah, so in that buy, I got 2 of these. Why isn't it opening? There we go. I got these two of these big chunky, they're from 1980, and they have a full troy ounce of silver in them, and they're nice. I mean, they're almost 34 grams total weight, but that's what I had bought this off of. Is I saw these in the box. And I said, those are worth, $25 a piece. And actually, at the time, I thought there was only one. So you said there's a value on the bottom of this guy here? Oh, the melt on Numista. I didn't know that. I'll have to look that. I'll have to look at that. Yeah, I've always gone back to NGC because I'm just like, man, I wish there was some melt on that. But where's my? There it is. But yeah, this is the one. It's from 1723, and you can see it is really beat up. But I dug and I hunted, and based upon I went by the rim lettering, and I was able to match up this coin and the bust, you can barely make out the face on that with this 1820, or I'm sorry, 1723 Farth. Like I said, it's tore up. I was actually going to reach out to Rob to see if he says he doesn't have any pre-federal coins in his collection. So I was going to reach out to him for some assistance. But the other cool one that I found while we're just chatting here is this. It took me a while to find in the foreign hunt, was this silver. It's it's from the Republic of Costa Rica, but it's counterpunched, and it says Un Colon, and then on the back it has a 1923. But if you look at the coin, I'm trying to remember where the date is on this. If you look at the coin on the front, oops, where did it move? There we go. The coin is actually from 1890. So it's a counterpunch where they turned this, I believe it was, it's a 50 centavos that's counterstamped to 1 colon. So it's pretty interesting. And that's about 1/3 of an ounce of silver as well. So that was a really unique find in there. Yeah, I'm not sure. I liked it just because it's super unique as far as, you know, they took a 1890 coin and turned it into a 1923 coin. So we'll get back to finding our NIFCs. Oh boy. I'd love to find. I mean, I've been watching some people hunt online, and they just have been pulling out silver after silver. But I don't know. The holiday train is not here yet. Normally, people will dump a lot of coin back into circulation, but I haven't seen it in halves. I mean, even Rob's been struggling finding it. But the crazy thing is I actually found a silver in my quarter box last night, which is few and far between. I mean, it's only one. I mean, you're only finding one, but I mean, to find one, it's pretty awesome. So I can find silver in my quarter boxes. I can't find them in my halves. How does that make sense? So how long have you been collecting for? For a while, or is this, have you kind of gotten back into it recently as well? Wow, 10 cents each. That's awesome. Yeah, I don't know if you watch Penny Haven or not. He's big into digging through. He's got a nice LCS near him, and he digs through and he finds all kind of cool stuff on the cheap. Unfortunately, my closest LCS is over a half hour away, and so it's kind of a burden, especially with you know, the kids being home. It's much more now than they were before. Before, I'd have my day free to myself if I needed to run some errands, but I don't even have that luxury anymore. So it's more of a struggle to get out. So, or at least for that length of time. Yeah, when you say on and off, I think that's pretty normal. I think a lot of people get in and it gets hot, and then it's not. Either that or it's do I have extra funds? Because depending on what kind of coins you get into, it can get pretty expensive too. I mean, I I currently have one Peace Dollar and one Morgan to my collection. And those babies can get real pricey really quick. But if you're a big collector, that's the holy grail, is to have a really nice collection of those. So you look for airs in the foreigns too then. I haven't gone that far yet. I'm just getting accustomed to finding the airs and varieties in the US coinage. I can even imagine trying to keep up with the foreigns. Then again, I'm not getting rid of any of it, so it's not going to go anyplace anytime soon. Yeah, I have not looked at all, even the Canadians. And the Canadians, I've got a pretty decent collection of pennies, nickels, dimes, and quarters when it comes to Canadians. I haven't even gotten into their varieties, and I know that they have, you know, almost equal amounts of varieties as we do. Yeah, I hear about keeping on the cheap. That's why I coin roll hunt, because you can't get much cheaper than face. The problem is that I could probably get some other stuff if I'd let go of some of the stuff I find, but I found about, I don't know, I think about 20 W's so far. So that's, you know, probably $200 if I was to get rid of them. I just can't let them go though. Once I've found them, I want to keep them. So I still have I did a giveaway for a W once, and that's the only W I've let go of so far. I've still got the rest of all the ones that I found. Yeah, I've seen the Canadian. The Canadian, like I said, seems to have a decent amount of airs and varieties, especially with the numbers and the leaves and things of that nature. I just haven't got into searching them yet. I've been trying to get my US collections in order first, and then I'll probably go back and start doing that. For the foreigns, I really like some of the foreigns though. I think our currency has really gone to pot, man. I mean, if you look at some of the designs we have compared to the other countries, you know, we made some nice stuff back when they had the Peace Dollar and the Mercury and some really cool stuff, but we've gotten kind of lazy with our standard currency. Hey, Turk. There's my W guy right there that I'm glad you enjoyed it, man. Thanks for stopping by. We're hunting halves this morning, and all we've got now is a bunch of NIFCs, man. It's like a barrage, and they're all 2006 too. We've got 8 of them so far. Yeah, a typeset. I'd love a typeset. I don't have a book yet. That's one you definitely need a book for. I'm scared to start though, because that's kind of like you know, as I was saying to RG Coins, is that you know, once you start a collection, you need to finish it, man. I just have I need to finish stuff. So I said, man, if I get a typeset, it's going to be one of those things where I'm going to keep wanting to finish that. And some of those coins are going to be expensive when you start looking at the, you know, the really specialized coins where you're talking half dimes and large cents and all that. They can get in the Morgans and all that stuff. It gets expensive quick. and I've got a steak appetite on a hamburger helper budget right now. So I'd love one, but I'm holding off on buying it because I know once I buy it, I'll have that you need to complete it syndrome, and I don't see myself wanting to afford that just yet. But yeah, I would love to have one. It would be pretty awesome. All right, great. We'll be here, man. I'm gonna go through the box. Like I said, I am no Rob. Rob can, dude. He can tear through a box in like a half hour, I think. I don't know how he does it. I mean, his eyes are clearly much better than mine, and he's been doing it for a long time too, which helps. But it takes me, probably a couple hours to tear through a box, and I'm certainly much more slow and diligent because I'm still getting. I'm new to this, but yeah, we'll be here. Come on, where's my silver at today? So, Tarek, do you hunt as well? Do you have a favorite, or what do you normally hunt? All right, we'll be here. What is that? It's tore up. Yeah, nickels by far, and I love nickels. Nickels are my favorite. Actually, when I first started, I was doing almost nickels and pennies exclusively. Nickels are my favorite. I actually had what I call my dump bank because they can't get coin for me. I just started dumping on them. I went in, and after I'd been there clearly a number of times, she's like, I'm going to have to ask you to start going to another branch. We have too many nickels. And this comes from a bank that wouldn't give me coin because I was going through nickels so fast. I just love the Buffalo nickels myself, and love finding them. I haven't put the video out yet, but I got a V nickel about a week ago. It wasn't in the best condition, but it was a V nickel, so I was pretty excited about that. Pennies are always fun, though. I mean, you're always going to find something in pennies, and because they're just a penny, they're super affordable to hunt. There's no reason anybody can't hunt pennies. Yeah, it was my first V nickel in a box, so I was pretty happy about that. I don't necessarily collect V nickels yet. I collect them in that I've got them. I've got a couple. Really, my goal at this point is to make collections based upon what I hunt. And then when I find something I like right now, like I said, I like buffaloes. So I would buy some buffaloes, but I want to keep kind of my collection separate where I know what I've collected versus what I haven't, what I've purchased. Like the peace dollar I have, clearly I bought that. I did not hunt that. And there's, when it comes to peace and Morgan, you know, you're not really going to hunt those, at least in a true sense these days. But I try to keep those collections separate. And since I'm doing so much roll hunting right now, I haven't really got into the V nickels. Besides, I got a couple in a grab bag, I think, and I have the one that I found. So I think I have 2 or 3 total. So I don't collect them yet. I'm sure I will. I'm hoping I find more. Look at that. Got another 2006 and IFC. I don't know why those are in here. The other guys have been finding 93, I think it is, and 89. I don't know where these 2006 are coming from. Oh, you're getting them in the foreign boxes. That'd be sweet. Yeah, they're if you can find them in good shape, they actually have decent value to them. I mean, the auctions I've seen, when if you can get a nice little lot of them in decent shape, they command a nice dollar. So, I mean, if you're finding them in your foreigns, then yeah, I definitely set those aside. And if you're not looking to collect them, then you certainly could turn them into something. Yeah, for sure. A vein I don't want though. I want a 1964 vein, or a Benji vein. Those are the veins I'm looking for. But that one box I watched of Rob's where he found, I don't know, like something stupid, like 290, like I think half the box was 93s. That would have been super frustrating, I think. But I'd love to find an 87 vein though. Those are nice. Those I know have some decent value to them, without having to create a collection out of it. Oh, nice. 13s raised mounds. Yeah. Were they in good shape? Wow, that's great. Yeah, when you get into the teens, I mean, you're often lucky to find a date. I mean, those are the ones that have serious wear to them, and especially the raised ground ones. Those are normally super tore up. Oop. 2011 NIFC. We got a different date now finally, but still an NIFC. Yeah, that design it's tough to find them in good shape. So if you got one, that's awesome. Oop. Back to the 2006s. Oh man. That's an FG. So where are you located? You on the East Coast? All right, no worries. Ah, California. So you're just starting your day. Man, I'd love to find a DDO today. Tarek, you working today or are you off? Oh, nice. So is that gonna make for a long weekend, or are you working over the weekend because you're off today? Oh, full-time student. Where are you at for school? Ah, I just ordered cheese from you guys. Your creamery makes some of the best cheese ever. We order it every single year for Thanksgiving. The Cougar Gold. I really like the Crimson Fire too myself, but my brother-in-law actually bought the cheese this year and he sent the Cougar Gold. Yeah, it's a tradition. We've been buying and sending it to each other for probably 15 years now. I used to send one of the tins to my mom every Thanksgiving, yeah, with a note that says, "Don't eat my cheese," because we'd always have to travel up to her place. They're up in New York, but didn't make it up there this year, so they sent it down to us. Oh, I haven't had their ice cream. I bet if their cheese is that good, their ice cream is probably just as equally as good. Alrighty, we're almost halfway through, and we just have a serious NIFC fest going here. Hopefully we can turn things around. So you working on your bachelor's? Oops. Ah, oh, beautiful. My in-laws are pharmacy tech teachers. They're not the pharmacy teachers. That's going to be a pretty solid career. You are for sure going to be able to get a job in that one nowadays. Always going to be old people, right? Always going to be people need their medicines. So that was a good pick. Not to boot, they get paid pretty good too. So. The only downside, I guess, is if you end up working for a big chain until you get your seniority, they make you work the weekends or the overnights in the 24-hour pharmacy, the big chain ones. But I guess that's probably the same for any job. The low man on the totem pole gets the worst shifts. Still hoping to find yourself a DDO today, man. They're pretty elusive for me lately. Oh, nice. To have a job lined up after graduation, that's amazing. Yeah, that's the worst is when you're getting ready to graduate and you don't have a job yet. That'll tick the stress level up a little bit. So to have one sitting around for you, that's awesome. I'm hoping to be able to do a proper live stream at some point where I can have a real webcam set up, but I believe that you need some software to hook things up properly where you can have multiple cameras and all the fancy stuff that I don't have yet. So all in time, I guess. Yeah, you know, I've heard, everybody tells me that there's an average of one per box. That has not been the case for me. I don't know whether I've got a bad bank or a bad timing. I've certainly been lower than that. This is going to be, I believe this is box 8 for me. And I only got one silver right now. And it wasn't even a 90, it was a 40. So silvers have been stingy. Now NIFCs have not. I mean, the first 2 boxes I had 46 NIFCs in those first 2 boxes. So if there's other people hunting, they're doing a good job of pulling the silver out and leaving the NIFCs in. Because I'm still finding it, that's for sure. I appreciate you wishing me luck, though. I could use it. I haven't yet. No, I actually, I wish I could. I've got accounts now at 3 banks. One of the banks will only give me 1 roll of each denomination per visit. And so I've turned them into my dump bank. The other bank will give me whatever I want, but won't order halves for me. And the third bank is ordering halves for me. But they have not been the fancy ones. So I'm trying to schmooze the ladies at the bank that will give me things but won't order halves to see if I can get them to order some halves for me eventually. I've not gotten that offer as of yet. If that doesn't change and these do not pick up, I think I might have to get an account at a third or a fourth bank, because time is money and it takes me time to run through these. So if I don't start finding silver, time to find a new bank. But you know, if you watch any of the people that do this on a regular, you'll have bad spells. So I haven't given up on the bank yet, and he's the manager there has been super easy to work with. So I you know, I'm gonna probably continue to pick up stuff from him anyways, just because he's a really nice guy. And he was the first one to say, hey, you know, I actually went into him and said, hey, I'm having a hard time getting rolls. Can you order change? And he said to me, well, how much do you think you're going to need on a weekly basis? And I told him, and he's like, yeah, that's not a problem. As long as we're not talking like monster amounts. I think I could probably even up the quantity of boxes that I'm getting from him. I just haven't gotten there yet because they haven't been so great. And I've been sticking with the quarters. I mean, quite frankly, a W quarter right now is worth about as much as a silver. So, and they've treated me much better. The quarters have. I probably average 2 to 3 W's a box. And I can go through a quarter box as fast as I can a half box. I mean, most people can't, but I'm slow when it comes to halves compared to others because I'm not as familiar with them. But yeah, connections with the bankers is key. I mean, that's one of the reasons some of these big guys that have been doing this for a long time do so well, is because they have multiple banks and all kinds of connections, and makes all the difference in the world. But I'll tell you, you know, even at a bank, it ranges from branch to branch. I mean, whoops, dropped one. You can have the same bank that says that it supposedly should have the same rules, and they don't. It really comes down to the personnel inside. So I'll keep plugging away. It's certainly, you know, it's not going to kill me to keep going through them and see what can happen. And you know what? Eventually I'll snag across one of these boxes that has, you know, 20, 30, 40, 50 in there. I was talking to one of the other hunters the other day, and he had a box that had 238, I think he said, in there. Another 2006. So maybe I'll get one of those boxes one of these days, and we'll make up for all these crappy boxes. That's all you can do, is just keep hunting, because you're not going to find them if you don't look for them. But I try to balance the quarters off with 2010 NIFC with the other ones, because like I said, you know, nickels are my favorite, but you're not going to get rich off nickels, that's for sure. Yeah, right now I'm just past the halfway mark, and I've got 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 11, 12. I have 13 right now, with 11 of them being 06s. I think I see another one in this roll I just opened up. I wish 76s were silver. Oh man, that would be great. Let's check this one out. Oh, it's not. It's 2001. 1 year off. It's a nice looking one though. Do you hunt halves on the regular? Are you able to get them still? I know a lot of people have been struggling with coins since the pandemic's been around. So you went through 2 boxes, or you're still sitting on those 2 boxes? Or are those the ones that you're saying you averaged 1 per box on? Yep, there's quite a bit of errors in there. I try to look as I go so I can turn them back in and turn them back into something else. I try to run to the bank about once a day, and like for these ones here, I picked these up this morning. I'm going to hunt these, and I'm going to take them back and change them for quarters, I think. Hey, look at this one. I love Janet. Somebody loves Janet. I wish Janet was silver, but she's not. So I know they got snow in the Northeast. Do you guys have snow up in the Northwest as well, or is it just cold? Yeah, there's been some serious snow this year already for as early in December as we are. It's crazy. They talk about the global warming, but then we have these crazy storms like this, and you're thinking, how does that work? Yeah, it's pretty rainy up there too, I think, even when it's not snowing, right? Okay. The ocean will do that to you, I guess. I'm actually about as far away from you as possible. I'm actually in Central Florida, so I'm not too far from the coast. So I know that the ocean can certainly affect the weather quite a bit. All right, now we're getting back into some 70s. At least we can look for some errors, but it's been a bizarre box, that's for sure. Hmm. 2005 NFC. Yeah, I actually have. I didn't have it when I first started, because the everything that I've read said if you Nic-A-Date a buffalo, you basically destroy the value of it. So if it's worth $100, now it's worth like 10. So I've intentionally not Nic-A-Dated anything, but then again, a dateless buffalo is not really worth anything or not worth much. So I bought the Nic-A-Date, and if it's dateless, I mean, I put it under some serious scrutiny to make sure that I'm not killing the value on a corn I might be able to pull the date out on. But if not, I want to find out what it is. So I have, and it works great, man. I know that I've seen some videos where people aren't able to pull a date off of, but I think those are pretty tore up if that's the case. In my cases, I've done it on about, I think 5 coins so far, and it's worked great. I mean, it comes right out. I've also used it to on the reverse to figure out whether I had a mint mark or not, and it worked there too. So 2002, another NIFC. In the process, I reached out to another YouTuber that found a bunch, and he's not a nickel hunter. And so I said, hey, can I buy those dateless off you? And so we're in the process of trying to figure out what's fair. And if he does, I think he said he's got about 3 or 4 rolls of them, but they're all dateless, or he says they're dateless. But then again, he's not a a nickel hunter, so they might be, you might be able to get a date better than, I know that buffaloes are a little bit of an experience thing as far as seeing the dates. So I was thinking about buying some date lists, if not off him, off of eBay, and just doing a video on how to do it and how it comes out. What I did is tips on how to use it is a little bit goes a long way. You just need to put a dot where the date should be, and then you can use a toothpick, or I used like the point of a nail clipper, like the part that you can file your nails with, just the very tip of that, just to kind of spread it out. I'm not touching the coin, I'm just touching the liquid, but basically I'm just trying to make sure that I have it spread out where the date would be. And then I let it sit. You want to sit, from what it says on there, you want it to be on there as little as possible. So basically you just kind of watch it and you can almost see the date appear. And on one of them, I didn't see a date appear, where I couldn't see it through the liquid. And then all of a sudden the liquid starts turning almost like brown or black. From what I've heard, you want to leave it on there from anywhere from 30 seconds to 2 minutes. You know, what I have not done is I haven't done Nic-A-Date twice. And some of the people are using Nic-A-Date twice, where they'll put it on there, a date doesn't appear, and so they'll Nic-A-Date it again. I haven't done that, so I don't know how that works out. I've intentionally tried to leave that on there long enough that it pulls a date out with me not hurting the coin. And in my cases, the few that I've done, that's worked well. So that would be my suggestion, is a little bit really goes a long way as far as getting the coverage you need to expose the date. And then they say drop it in water. Basically what I do, or what I did, is I just wipe it clean with a tissue. I just, dab it so it takes the acid off, and then I go run it under the sink versus having to have a bowl of water on my desk just to, get any of the residual acid off of there so it's not continuing to destroy the coin. But essentially, once you've used it, you've killed most of the value out of the coin. It's really more to figure out what you've got, because all the dateless stuff is probably going to be 20s and teens. So if you can find 20s and teens that have mint marks, even at 10%, you might have a pretty coin on your hands, depending on how rare it might be. But for me, it was really more about, completing my collection, and, getting some of those much, much harder dates to find. Hey, no worries. That's what I really appreciate about the coin community in general, is most people are pretty ready to share, because that's how you learn. I mean, that's how you figure this stuff out, is, anytime I'm trying to really do anything anymore, I'll jump on YouTube. I mean, I've got to fix one of the overflow for my sprinkler system outside is leaking, and I know that I've looked it up once before because I've already fixed it once. But I found that on YouTube, and I found that, especially in the coin community, people will share. They're not super stingy, and they're not trying to hide stuff from you. If you are willing to ask, they're willing to share. One of the things that I'm working on right now is I'm going to try to make a video on quarters, nickels, and pennies. Dimes I hate, so I don't know if I'll do a video on that, but I want to do a video where it just gives people a really quick hunt list. I mean, there's no, or at least I haven't found it, where, you know, people will say, here are the 25 most valuable quarters. But the thing is, the quarters are like really ridiculous errors, or they're really old or something crazy like that. I want to find something that says, hey, you need to look for, you know, these 10 or 20 quarters that you'll actually find in your pocket change. And yeah, they're not the ones that are going to make you thousands of dollars per se, but they'll be fun to hunt, and you can make a couple bucks if that's what you're looking to do. I'll probably include some of the higher value ones that you're not as likely to find. But I mean, if you look at the coins that people are hunting for, like if you look at the close AM and the pennies, not a lot of those out there. It's not something you're going to find every day. Now, you can find it in your pocket change, but I've never found one, and I've seen a lot of pennies. I don't know that Rob's even found one, and he's seen a ridiculous amount of pennies. So, but they're still looking for them. So that's kind of how I wanted to do, is I wanted to get in here and make a list so people can, you know, have an idea of what to look for, especially if they're new to the hobby. And look at this, another 2006 NIFC. Oh man, I'll be able to build a pyramid out of these by the end of it. Yeah, I looked for it when I first came up, and you can find videos that say, how much is a 1976 worth, or how much is a 2008, or how much is, you know, a spitting horse air gonna make you? And I just want to find one that says, hey, find these 20 quarters in your pocket change, and here's what to look for. And by the way, here's a little cheat sheet that lists what the dates are and what you should be looking for. And yeah, there's a ton more variations, but at least this will get you started, kind of thing. And if I did that for quarters, nickels, and pennies, I think it would really help kickstart some of those early hunters to kind of know what to look for without having to watch 4,000 videos. Yeah, 2006 is definitely my year, man. Too bad they're not made out of silver. Oh, you know, the last time when I had the NIFCs, the whole boatload of them, it was really a variety. I didn't have a set date that I was getting slaughtered by, but man, these are all 2006 today, that's for sure. Crazy. And they're all in really nice shape too. So I don't know if they just like had a batch that they released into the rolls when they did this or what. I mean, I got to be just shy of a roll here. 4, 6, 8, 10. No, I only get 12. At least I got to get a whole other 8 to get a roll. I don't know. We might make it though. You know, if this box can give me a silver, I will gladly take all those 2006. I'd really love to find an old silver. I'd love to pull a walker out of a roll myself, but I'll take a 40% any day of the week. But those are the kind of things that I would really enjoy trying to find. Like when I found the V nickel, that was pretty awesome. And I think that's one of the things that I like about the buffaloes is it's actually not even, if you think about it compared to the pennies, some of the weedies you're finding and things like that, it's not that old, but it just feels different to me for some reason. Hey, welcome back. Was your meeting good? Yeah, no, actually what I do as far as for re-rolling is I roll as I go. I tear them open, I hunt through them, and the first roll that I pull something out of, I set at the top of my board, and then whatever I take out of a roll, I just put back in that roll, and then I roll the roll as I'm like I just opened this roll. So if I find something, I'll take it out of that first stack that I did. This first one I've got here, I'm not going to be able to show you guys because it's not going to show up very well, but this has been through a washing machine or something. It's really smooth on the edges. Hopefully it's not the no FG, it's not. So I'll go through this roll, and if I find something, I'll put it on my board, but I'll take one out of the stack that I have. And normally when I return them, I end up being a roll short. I don't normally take a full box back unless I've got leftovers from the previous box. So I re-roll as I go. So basically, I've got a couple more coins here, so I'm going to go through these coins. And then, oh, look at that. 2009 NIFC. So I put that 2009 up on my board just to keep track of it, and then I'll take one out of the first, for my first find, add to the stack, and then I roll these bad boys back up. So I just roll as I go just to save myself the pain. So basically, that's one of the reasons I think the hunts take me a little longer, is because I'm done when I'm done. I mean, when I finish the hunt, it's actually done. I can, run to the bank and turn them back in. I don't have a huge bowl of coins, and I don't have to count them because they've already been counted. I basically took the roll that I had and I put in the difference of whatever I took out, unless I was shorted to begin with. And if I shorted to begin with, then I shorted somebody that I'm returning them to, I guess. But there's some people that, weigh them and craziness like that. I try to weigh them. The scale I have, I actually have a coin scale, but it only goes up to 100 grams. These rolls are more like I think they're 124 to 128, depending on what's in them and how much paper there is and things like that. So my precise scale doesn't go that high, and the food scale that I've got is not precise enough that I weighed them and I couldn't tell any difference whether it had silver or didn't have silver, whether it was heavy paper, not paper. So I haven't weighed them, but I mean, there's some people that'll weigh them. They can almost tell you what's inside based on the weight. That's pretty crazy. So we have 6 rolls left after this one. So we have 7 rolls left, and we're still smelling pretty skunky here again today. But there's still a chance. Now, do you guys keep your NIFCs? I've talked to numerous people. Some people just huck them back in. Some people keep them. For me, I've kept all mine so far, but when you have days like today where I'm probably going to end up with 20, and like that first box I had when I had 46, all of a sudden you got a lot of not so valuable halves laying around. I guess they'll be valuable if you can create sets out of them, but I don't know if I'm patient enough to hold on to a couple $100 worth of halves waiting to turn them into something. I'd love to hear what you guys do. I know that, I don't know if you guys watch Nubs or not. He's a administrator on a number of channels, and I was talking with him the other day, and he puts his back. He's like, yeah, I'm looking for silver, period. Now I certainly am collecting more than just looking for silver, but still, do I really need 20 2006 NIFCs? Actually, I probably already have one. That's not the ones that I'm missing are the ones closer to today. Yeah, wheat pennies. I keep all my wheat pennies. That's one of the things that I love about hunting pennies and nickels. Now nickels, I if they're not in good shape, I don't just keep them to keep them. Oh, look at that, 2006 NIFC. So, but that's why pennies are awesome. Is you can keep everything. If you have something that's questionable, you keep it. Actually, I have a whole cup full of 2020s. Actually, it might be 2019s that were just brilliant uncirculated, but they weren't full rolls. They were in a box that I hunted, and so I just kept setting them aside. I hadn't even decided what I'm going to do with them yet. But with the pennies, you know, if you have a cup full of pennies, it might be a couple of dollars. You know, whereas if I have a cup full of $half, it gets painful quick. Alrighty, last row. You guys got any big plans for the weekend? Yeah, nothing here. It actually, our weather's supposed to be great. It's supposed to be like a highs of 70s, lows of upper 50s with no rain. So I'm just going to enjoy myself this weekend. I was hoping to take the boat out, but my boys like to swim in the lake, and I think it's going to be too cold for them. But we'll have to see what the weekend brings, because while that's what the weatherman said, we know how well the weatherman does sometimes. So you kind of sometimes just have to wait till that day shows up. Yeah, finals come up quick, don't they? I forgot that it was that time of the year. I always think of finals. Look at that. 2018 NIFC. I don't have one of those, though. I know that. I always think about finals at the end of the year. But when you're in college, it goes by semesters. So I forget that often. What's up, Muscle Shell? Appreciate you stopping by. We're almost done here. I've got 3 rolls left and haven't found a silver yet. We haven't found a boatload of NIFCs. I don't have the fancy setup like everybody else yet, but I figured I would give it a try to see how it worked out. So we'll see how things go. I'm hoping to, I don't know, I've got to talk with some other people to find out whether software is required for the multiple cameras. I think it is, but I just figured I'd give this a whirl and go from there. You up to anything good today? Man, so many Phillies in here too. Denver's is where all the airs are at. Barbecue and steak sounds amazing. Yeah, when you got good weather, you have to take advantage of it. That's one of the things that I love about being down in Florida is we have nice weather when everybody else has junk weather. Everybody else has the summer weather, and we have the ridiculously hot weather. But I think I'd rather be hot than cold. I'm in Central Florida. Hey, Papa. Good to see you. Thanks for stopping by. We're actually almost done here. I'm on my last roll. We have a NIFC box here. We found we've got 13 2006s and a handful of others, and no silver as of yet. Hopefully this last roll will pull us out. I figured I'd get used to how this live stream thing works before I have all the fancy cameras and stuff. At least I can talk to people and see what's going on and go from there. Nothing like getting your feet wet. Yeah, it is. It's a ton. I mean, they're in all pretty nice shape too. So I don't know if it's where they dumped in. That's all she wrote, folks, on the rolls. So yeah, they're all in pretty nice shape. So it almost looks like they probably just dumped these in. I know that I've seen some other hunts where they'll get a mess of newer coins that maybe just get reintroduced. Not sure. It must have been a bag that just got dumped back. But do you keep your NIFCs or you huck them back? Seems a kind of a mixed bag. I mean, I know Rob says he keeps all his, but Rob's a baller, so he can certainly handle the extra coins laying around. But I mean, we've got 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12. We got 13 there. We have a 2005. We have a 2002. We've got a 09, an 11. Oops, I'm sorry, I missed the 10. A 10, 11, and an 18. So that's 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18. So that's 19 NIFCs. Really? 10 full boxes? That would be ridiculous. Yeah, I know people say keep the full sets. I haven't seen the variety, I guess. I keep getting, I've been getting a bunch of 04s, 05s, 06s. Actually, this is the first time I got a bunch of 06s. The last couple of times I've gotten 04, 05. I think I have a bunch of 8s as well. I think it's going to be a while till I have sets. So I don't know. I've been keeping it. It's not like it's a ridiculous amount. I was just curious to see what other people are doing. Because I don't mind keeping some, but you know, if you talk about sets, to do a full set, you're talking about some serious coins laying around unless you find a really nice average variety. So, well, that's the coins, guys. I enjoy the hunt. I mean, it's fun regardless of what you find. I've got, like I said, I roll as I go. So I've got my box re-rolled, and I'm taking it back to the bank today. I'm going to get myself a box of quarters for the weekend. That's normally what I do is I hunt quarters while I watch Rob on Fridays. Hopefully we can get some W's since we did not get silver today. But there's always the next box. They actually have another box at the bank waiting for me. I actually just took one today just because I wanted to run through one this morning. So he's still got one more back there for me that I'll go back and get. So we've had at least 2. Oh, really? Nice. Oh, wow, that's great. That's great to have the variety like that. Maybe I'll hang on to them then. I've hung on to all my other ones up to this date. I was just curious, you know, how easy it was to get the variety to actually create sets, because that's what I've heard people say. Hey, if you can make sets, that's kind of a worthwhile effort. But anywho, I appreciate everybody that stopped by today and shared in this hunt with me. If anybody would like an 06, I'd be more than happy to send you one. I'll update this stream to include my email. So I'm not going to do a random giveaway. There's only a handful of you in here. So if you want an 06, let me know. I'll be more than happy to send you one out. Just shoot me an email and with your name and address, and I'll send that out to you. I'm hoping to get a camera set where I can do this on a more regular basis and on a real basis where you can actually see what's going on versus just my microscope at this point. But I figured it doesn't hurt to try and throw something out there. So again, yeah, you can't get silver all the time. Unfortunately, I've not gotten a bunch of it, but from what I've seen, you get none, you get one, or you get a bunch. And you'll never get that bunch if you don't try. So you got to take your lumps as you go, I guess. So I don't mind doing it. I found a silver. I found a silver in my quarters last night, which is a rarity. So I found silver last night. That's maybe why I didn't get it today. So again, thanks for stopping by. I will leave my email down at the bottom of this stream. Shoot me an email. And I'll be more than happy to throw you guys one of these 06s that I have here. And have a great weekend. And I'll catch you guys on the next hunt. All right, guys. Have a great day. Okay.